Every time someone calls you a nice woman, they're really saying you're convenient, predictable, and harmless, a well-trained dog who won't bark too loud or bite the hand that feeds her. They celebrate your niceness because it serves them, applaud your selflessness because it fills their cups, and praise your patience because it lets them take everything you have without feeling guilty. That's sweet. Accommodating personality. They love so much, it's not your superpower. It's your cage, your muzzle, your invisible straight jacket that keeps you bound in a prison of people-pleasing while your soul slowly suffocates beneath all that synthetic sweetness. That word nice. It echoes through our lives like a hollow compliment. She's such a nice woman. We hear it, smile politely, and feel something die a little inside, because deep down we know nice isn't power. Nice isn't freedom. Nice is the prettiest prison we've ever built for ourselves. Right now, in this moment, your heart knows this truth. It surfaces in those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts. It rises up when you force another smile, swallow another truth, stuff down another desire, all in the name of being nice. The weight of niceness sits heavy on our shoulders. It's in every sorry we didn't need to say, every yes that should have been no, every time we made ourselves smaller to make someone else feel bigger. We become emotional contortionists, twisting ourselves into shapes that please everyone except ourselves. This isn't about criticism or blame. This is about awakening, about recognizing that somewhere between being that fierce little girl who knew exactly who she was and the woman you are today, something got lost. Something precious, something real. We've been sold a beautiful lie. That nice girls get ahead, that nice women are loved, that nice people succeed. But success built on niceness is like a house built on sand. It looks stable until the tide comes in. And the tide always comes in. The price we pay for this perpetual niceness goes beyond mere discomfort. It manifests as physical exhaustion, as that knot in your stomach when you check your phone, as that tension headache that won't go away. It's the promotion you didn't fight for, the boundary you didn't set, the dream you didn't pursue because it might inconvenience someone else. Your body knows the truth. It speaks to you in anxiety attacks, in sleepless nights, in unexplained illnesses. Because every time you choose nice over authentic, you're at war with your own nature. Every forced smile, every swallowed truth, every compromised boundary is a small act of violence against your soul. Look at nature. Nothing in nature tries to be nice. The rose doesn't apologize for its thorns. The storm doesn't ask permission to rage. The mountain doesn't make itself smaller to accommodate the valley. Yet everything in nature serves its purpose, fulfills its role, exists in perfect harmony with what it truly is. The most profound relationships in your life, think about them. They're not built on niceness. They're built on truth, on trust, on the ability to be fully yourself, even when yourself isn't pretty or pleasant or convenient. Real love doesn't require us to be nice. It requires us to be real. What would your life look like if you stopped trying to be nice? If you allowed yourself to be as big, as bold, as brilliant as you truly are, if you trusted that your no is as valuable as your yes, if you believe that your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is more important than someone else's comfort. This isn't about becoming unkind. It's about becoming authentic. It's about understanding that true kindness, the kind that changes lives and moves mountains, comes from a place of power, not from a place of pleasing. It comes from knowing who you are and standing firmly in that truth. The world doesn't need more nice women. The world needs women who are alive, awake, and authentic. Women who have the courage to disappoint others rather than betray themselves. Women who understand that their power lies not in being liked. Your life force, that wild, authentic energy you were born with, it's still there. Beneath all the layers of should and must and nice, it's waiting. It's that spark you feel when something really matters to you. That surge of energy when you're fully aligned with your truth. That sense of absolute clarity when you know what's right for you, regardless of what anyone else thinks. This isn't just about you. Every time a woman reclaims her authentic self, she creates permission for others to do the same. Every time you choose truth over nice, you light the way for someone else to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible when we stop trying to be nice and start being real. The journey from nice to authentic isn't a straight line. It's not about suddenly becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to be nice, before you learned to doubt your instincts, silence your voice, and dim your light. The people around you might call it selfish. They'll say you've changed, that you're not the person they knew. And they're right, because the person they knew was a carefully constructed illusion, a woman designed to make others comfortable at the cost of her own soul. Every time you set a boundary, someone will try to make you feel guilty for having one. Every time you speak your truth, someone will wish you had stayed quiet. Every time you stand in your power, someone will try to convince you to shrink. These reactions aren't about you. They're about them. They're about the discomfort that arises when a woman steps into her authentic power. Let's talk about what authenticity really means. It's not about being harsh or confrontational. It's about being real. When you're grounded in your authentic self, you don't need to shout to be heard. Your very presence speaks volumes. Your boundaries aren't walls, they're clear markers of self-respect that naturally command respect from others. Think about the energy you spend every day monitoring yourself, adjusting your tone so you don't sound too aggressive, crafting your email so you don't come across as difficult, second-guessing your decisions so you don't appear selfish. Imagine channeling all that energy into actually living your life, pursuing your dreams, making your mark on the world. The transformation begins with small moments of truth. It's saying I disagree without apologizing for having a different opinion. It's letting someone feel disappointed without rushing to fix their feelings. It's stating your needs without justifying why you have them. These moments might feel uncomfortable at first, like trying to write with your non-dominant hand. But just like any new skill, authenticity becomes more natural with practice. Your relationships will change. They have to. But some people will fall away, and that's okay. They were in love with your niceness, not your authenticity. But the relationships that remain and the new ones you'll form will be deeper, richer, more real, because now they're based on who you actually are, not who you pretend to be. Notice how your body responds when you're being nice versus when you're being authentic. Nice often feels tight, constrained, like holding your breath. Authentic feels expansive, energizing, like finally being able to exhale fully. Your body never lies. It's always telling you what's true for you. The world tries to convince us that we need to choose between being liked and being respected, between being successful and being authentic, between being loved and being true to ourselves. But these are false choices. When we stand firmly in our authentic power, we attract the right opportunities, the right relationships, the right kind of success, the kind that doesn't require us to abandon ourselves. Consider how much of your life is spent anticipating others' needs, managing others' emotions, and making yourself responsible for others' happiness. This isn't service, it's servitude. True service comes from a place of wholeness, not from a place. It comes from giving what we genuinely want to give, not from giving because we're afraid to say no. The journey from nice to authentic requires us to face our fears, the fear of rejection, the fear of conflict, the fear of not being enough. But here's what you'll discover. These fears lose their power when you stop running from them. When you're willing to feel uncomfortable, to let others feel uncomfortable, you become unstoppable. Your voice matters. Not just the agreeable voice, not just the supportive voice, but your full voice, including the no's, the disagreements, the uncomfortable truths. Your anger matters. Your boundaries matter. Your desires matter. Not because anyone else says they do, but because you say they do. Start paying attention to the subtle ways you abandon yourself. The little compromises that seem harmless in the moment, but chip away at your spirit over time. The times you say it doesn't matter when it actually matters very much. The times you laugh off behavior that hurts you. The times you silence your wisdom because it might rock the boat. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about unbecoming everything you thought you had to be. It's about peeling away the layers of conditioning that taught you to prioritize niceness over authenticity. It's about returning to the truth of who you are. Your power's always been there, waiting patiently beneath the pleasant smiles and the careful words. It's in the dreams you haven't dared to voice, the truths you haven't dared to speak, the life you haven't dared to claim. It's time to dare. The unraveling of nice happens in everyday moments. It's in the board meeting when you stop Softening your words with maybe and I think it's in the family gathering when you decline to take on yet another responsibility that isn't yours. It's in the mirror. When you finally look at yourself and say, I hear you, I see you, I choose you. This journey will trigger every insecurity you've ever had. The voice of doubt will whisper, who do you think you are? Answer it with, I am a woman who has finally come home to herself, because that's what this is, a homecoming, a return to the truth that's been waiting for you all along. Let's get practical about what it means to shed the nice woman identity. When someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, your no doesn't need an explanation. No is a complete sentence. Watch how uncomfortable this makes people at first. Watch how they wait for your usual string of excuses and apologies. Watch how they eventually learn to respect your boundaries when you respect them first. Your time is sacred. Your energy is precious. Your attention is valuable. Stop giving these away as if they cost you nothing. They cost you everything, your dreams, your purpose, your power. Start treating them like the finite resources they have. Does this deserve my energy? Does this align with my truth? Does this serve my highest good? The habit of nice runs deep. You'll catch yourself slipping back into old patterns, apologizing when you've done nothing wrong, smiling when you feel like crying, saying yes, when every fiber of your being wants to say no. Don't judge yourself for these moments, simply notice them. Each time you catch yourself is an opportunity to choose differently. Your emotions are not inconvenient. Your anger is not inappropriate. Your grief is not excessive. Your joy is not too loud. Every emotion you feel is data, valuable information about what matters to you, what hurts you, what lights you up. Start listening to these messages instead of suppressing them to make others comfortable. The world will test your resolve. It will send you people who expect the old you, the nice you, the compliant you, the you who would set herself on fire to keep others warm. These are your teachers. They show you where you still need to strengthen your boundaries, where you still need to trust your voice, where you still need to choose yourself. Watch what happens when you start speaking with clarity instead of cushioning every statement. Notice how I don't want to feel is different from I can't. Observe how this doesn't work for me lands differently than I'm so sorry, but maybe, possibly, I might not be able to. Your truth doesn't need padding. It doesn't need protection. It needs expression. In your professional life, being authentic might feel especially risky. But consider this. How much of your creative energy, your innovative thinking, your natural leadership is stifled by the need to be nice? How many groundbreaking ideas have died in your throat because you were afraid of rocking the boat? Your unique perspective, your challenging questions, your different approach. These are your gifts to your organization, not liabilities to be hidden. Your relationships will go through an alchemical process. Some will dissolve. These were based on your compliance, not your authenticity. Some will deepen. These people have been waiting for the real you to emerge. And new relationships will form. Magnetic connections drawn to your authentic energy, your clear boundaries, your uncompromised truth. Pay attention to the physical sensation of speaking your truth. Notice how your spine straightens, how your breathing deepens, how your energy expands. Your body recognizes truth even when your mind is still caught in doubt. Let your body be your guide. It knows the difference between nice and authentic. Start practicing authentic self-talk. Instead of I should be more patient, try I'm feeling frustrated, and that's valid. Instead of I need to be more understanding, try my feelings matter too. Instead of I'm too sensitive, try I feel things deeply, and that's my strength. Your sensitivity, your emotions, your intuition, these aren't weaknesses to be overcome. They're sophisticated guidance systems helping you navigate life. When you stop trying to be nice and start being authentic, these become your superpowers. They help you discern what's true for you. It's aligned with your values. What deserves your precious energy? The path of authenticity requires courage. Not the kind of courage that roars, but the kind that says quietly day after day, this is who I am. The kind that chooses truth over comfort, growth over security, authenticity over approval. The kind that looks fear in the eye and says, I see you, but you don't get to drive. Every woman who steps into her authentic power creates ripples that reach far beyond her own life. When you stop being nice and start being real, you give other women permission to do the same. your courage becomes contagious. Your authenticity becomes a beacon for others still finding their way out of the nice cage. The deepest transformation happens in the subtle moments. It's in the pause before you automatically say yes. It's in the breath you take before speaking your truth. It's in the moment you catch your reflection and recognize yourself again. These small shifts create massive change over time. You'll start noticing how often women around you apologize for existing, for taking up space, for having needs, for feeling emotions. Listen to the language. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry, but I disagree. I'm sorry for being emotional. Now notice how often you do the same. Each unnecessary apology is a small act of self-erasure. Your worth isn't measured in how much you can endure, how much you can give, or how little you can ask for in return. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists independent of your usefulness to others. Let that truth sink deep into your bones. Let it inform every decision, every interaction, every choice you make. The nice woman syndrome keeps us competition with each other. It makes us judge other women for being too loud, too ambitious, too much. All the things we've been taught to fear in ourselves. As you step into your authentic power, watch how your judgment of other women transforms into admiration and solidarity. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly monitoring yourself, from maintaining the nice facade. It's not just physical tiredness, it's soul tiredness. As you release the need to be nice, watch how your energy, watch how much more you have to give when you're giving from authenticity rather than obligation. Your relationship with power will transform. Nice women are taught to fear power, to see it as something that corrupts, something unladylike, something that makes us unlovable. But true power isn't about dominance or control. It's about being so grounded in your truth that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You'll start recognizing the difference between peace and silence, between kindness and niceness, between compromise and surrender. Peace comes from standing in your truth, not from avoiding conflict. Kindness comes from authenticity, not from people-pleasing. Healthy compromise comes from knowing your non-negotiables. The voice of authenticity might feel far at first. It might sound too bold, too clear, too confident. Trust it anyway. That voice has been waiting lifetimes to be heard. It knows things your nice self forgot. It sees things your conditioned self couldn't acknowledge. It speaks truths your pleasing self was afraid to whisper. Watch for the signs of growth. Notice how you no longer feel compelled to fill every silence. How you can sit with someone's disappointment without trying to fix it. How you can hold your ground without defending or explaining. These are the fruits of choosing authenticity over niceness. Your intuition will become louder as you become more authentic. The nice woman doubts her intuition because it often conflicts with what she thinks she should do. The authentic woman knows her intuition is her most reliable compass. She trusts the knowing that comes from within more than the shoulds that come from without. The need for validation will begin to fall away. Nice women are constantly seeking external approval, trying to gauge if they're doing it right, if they're still acceptable, if they're still good enough. Authentic women know that the only approval they need is their own. You'll develop a new relationship with conflict. Nice women see conflict as failure, a sign that they haven't managed everyone's feelings well enough. Authentic women understand that conflict is sometimes necessary for growth, for truth. They don't seek it out, but they don't run from it either. Your presence will change. People will feel it, even if they can't name it. The energy of a woman who's no longer trying to make herself acceptable is powerful, it's magnetic, it's transformative. You'll draw different opportunities, different relationships, different experiences, all aligned with your authentic self. The way you love will transform. Nice women love from fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of conflict, fear of being too much or not enough. Authentic women love from wholeness. They know their love is a gift, not a bribe. They know their worth isn't determined by how much someone else can receive their love. The metamorphosis from nice to authentic ripples through every aspect of your existence. Consider your digital life. How many messages sit in your inbox waiting for responses because you don't want to disappoint someone? How many social media posts do you like out of obligation? How many online groups do you stay in despite their drain on your energy? Authenticity means being real in all spaces, virtual and physical. Your relationship with success transforms fundamentally. Nice women chase success that looks good to others, achievements that can be displayed, status that can be recognized, accomplishments that others applaud. Authentic women pursue success that feels aligned with their truth, even if it's unconventional, even if it can't be displayed on a shelf or listed on a resume. The way you move through professional spaces shifts dramatically. You stop trying to modulate your voice to sound more approachable. You cease the habit of offering unnecessary qualifiers before sharing your expertise. You release the compulsion to make others comfortable with your competence. Watch how this changes the dynamic in meetings, in negotiations, in professional relationships. Your creative expression flourishes in ways you couldn't imagine when filtered through the lens of nice. Nice women create what they think others want to see. Authentic women create what needs to emerge through them. The difference is palpable in the energy of the work, in its impact, in its ability to touch others deeply. Your spiritual connection deepens naturally. Nice women often maintain a spiritual practice that looks good from the outside but lacks deep personal resonance. Authentic women allow their spirituality to be as unique as they are. They trust their direct experience over accepted wisdom. They honor their doubts as much as their faith. The mother wound, that deep generational pattern of self-abandonment passed down through our maternal line, begins to heal. You see how your mother's nice cage was built by her mother's nice cage, built by her mother's nice cage. This understanding brings compassion while strengthening your resolve to break the pattern. Your relationship with money transforms. Nice women often have a complicated relationship with financial abundance, feeling guilty for wanting more, apologetic for charging what they're worth, uncomfortable with receiving. Authentic women understand that money is energy, and claiming their worth financially is part of claiming their worth in all areas. Physical changes manifest as you align with your authenticity. Chronic pain that came from holding back your truth begins to ease. Digestive issues that stemmed from swallowing your words start to resolve. The constant fatigue of maintaining a nice facade lifts. Your body celebrates your return to truth. Your home becomes a reflection of your authentic self rather than a display of what you think others expect to see. You might find yourself rearranging furniture, changing colors, removing objects that never really felt like you. Your space becomes an expression of your essence rather than a collection of shoulds. The way you dress evolves. Nice women often dress to blend in, to avoid attention, to meet others' expectations. Authentic women dress to express themselves, to feel alive in their skin, to honor their unique essence. This isn't about dramatic external changes. It's about allowing your outer appearance to reflect your inner truth. Your relationship with food transforms. Nice women often have complicated relationships with eating, restricting, indulging, using food to stuff down emotions that feel too dangerous to express. Authentic women listen to their body's wisdom about hunger, about nourishment, about what truly feeds them on all levels. The quality of your sleep changes. Nice women often struggle with insomnia, their minds racing with unspoken words, unexpressed feelings, unfulfilled desires. Authentic women rest more deeply because they're no longer at war with themselves. They've made peace with their truth, their power, their presence. Your calendar begins to reflect your true priorities rather than a collection of obligations. You start questioning every should that's filled your time. You become more discerning about where you invest your energy. You learn to schedule according to your natural rhythms rather than external expectations. The language of your self-talk evolves. The harsh inner critic, that voice that constantly pushed you to be nicer, smaller, more acceptable, begins to soften. Not because you've silenced it, but because you've stopped letting it drive your choices. You develop a new inner voice that speaks with wisdom rather than judgment. Your relationship with pleasure deepens. Nice women often feel guilty about pleasure, as if enjoying themselves too much might be offensive or selfish. Authentic women understand that their capacity for pleasure is part of their life force. They don't apologize for what brings them joy. The way you handle endings changes profoundly. Nice women often stay long past the expiration date in relationships, jobs, situations, trying to manage others' feelings, trying to leave without causing pain. Authentic women honor when something is complete. They understand that clean endings make way for new beginnings. Your relationship with time transforms. Nice women often feel guilty about taking time for themselves, rushing to respond to others' needs, living in a constant state of temporal poverty. Authentic women understand that how they spend their time reflects what they truly value. They become sovereign over their own schedule. The quality of your friendships deepens immeasurably. Surface-level connections fall away naturally as you become less available for performances of niceness. The friendships that remain and the new ones that form are based on mutual recognition of each other's authentic nature. These relationships nourish rather than drain. Your definition of love expands. Nice women often operate from a contracted version of love, one that's about pleasing, accommodating, and earning approval. Authentic women understand that real love is spacious. It includes healthy conflict, clear boundaries, and the full expression of all emotions. Your relationship with your body becomes more intimate. Nice women often treat their bodies as projects to be improved or problems to be managed. Authentic women listen to their body's wisdom. They understand that their physical form is an ally in their journey, not an obstacle to overcome. The way you handle criticism evolves. Nice women often crumble in the face of disapproval, rushing to adjust themselves to regaining acceptance. Authentic women can stand firm in their truth while remaining open to genuine feedback. They can discern between constructive input and attempts to shame them back into niceness. Your creative expression becomes more powerful. Nice women often create within safe boundaries, careful not to provoke or disturb. Authentic women create from their depths, allowing their work to carry whatever message needs to emerge. They understand that true creativity isn't about making something pretty. It's about making something real. The way you practice self-care transforms. Nice women often approach self-care as yet another obligation, another box to check to prove they're doing it right. Authentic women understand that true self-care isn't about bubble baths and face masks. It's about honoring their needs, respecting their boundaries, and living their truth. Your relationship with uncertainty becomes more comfortable. Nice women often grip tightly to control, trying to manage outcomes by managing others' perceptions and reactions. Authentic women understand that uncertainty is part of being alive. They learn to trust themselves to handle whatever comes. Rather than trying to control everything in advance, the scope of your impact naturally expands. Nice women often try to make a difference while staying safely within accepted boundaries. Authentic women understand that their greatest contribution comes from being fully themselves. Their impact isn't carefully calculated. It's a natural result of living their truth. Your vision for your life expands beyond what nice would allow you to imagine. You begin to dream bigger, reach further, dare more boldly, not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you're no longer containing yourself within the narrow confines of acceptability. The texture of your daily life becomes richer. Colors seem brighter, experiences feel more vivid, connections become more meaningful. This isn't because anything external has changed. It's because you're fully present in your life rather than watching it through the filter of niceness. Your capacity to handle life's challenges increases. Not because you've become harder or more defended, but because you're no longer spending energy maintaining a facade. All that energy is now available for actually living your life, handling what comes, and staying true to yourself in the process. Understanding dawns that this journey from nice to authentic isn't a destination. It's a continuous unfolding. Each day brings new opportunities to choose truth over harmony, authenticity over approval, real over nice. Each choice builds upon the last, creating a life that's uniquely, powerfully your own. This transformation reverberates through generations, past and future. As you heal your own nice woman wound, you help heal the collective wound. As you step into your authentic power, you make it easier for others to do the same. As you choose truth over nice, you create new possibilities for all women. The profound truth emerges that being authentic isn't selfish. It's sacred. It's not just about you. It's about contributing your unique medicine to a world that desperately needs women who are fully alive, fully expressed. Your authenticity becomes your gift to the world. What becomes clear is that this journey from nice to authentic isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been. It's about remembering your original voice, reclaiming your natural power, and restoring your essential self to its rightful place at the center of your life.